I think one of the big elements of what really fascinates a lot of Star Wars fans about Episode 9 is, of course, exactly where Rey and Kylo Ren are going to stand during the final frames of this movie, such as Kylo Ren's endgame and Rey's path in Episode 9 by director J.J. Abrams, and exactly how the interactions between these two characters are really going to be utilized in this movie. Now, this is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is, of course, exactly what the interactions between both Rey and Kylo are going to be like on the big screen, what Kylo Ren's endgame is going to be, and exactly how Rey is going to become a Jedi of sorts in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of both Kylo Ren and Rey, where it said that they are both exchanging their philosophies of both the light and the dark side of the Force, and what it really means. It's described to be a sequence in which Kylo Ren is trying to turn Rey to the dark side, where Rey is trying to turn him to the light, where the sequence acts as a vicious cycle. The sequence is said to progress to the point in which Rey is reminding Kylo about his father again, and his mother Leia, telling Kylo that his mother needs him and that she is not doing well. The sequence is said to go to the point where Kylo addresses his weakness for his mother, but acknowledges that it won't turn him to the light side of the Force. This is said where their lightsaber duel begins to continue, where both of their lightsabers clash to the point where the environment begins to ripple and change around them, where they are now inside of the first Death Star, where both Vader and Obi-Wan fought. It's described that Kylo and Rey fight in a fast-paced style, where the Death Star panels can be seen in the background. One of the moments involves both Kylo Ren and Rey walking on the wall for a split second and jumping off of it and pushing Rey down to the ground and to the floor, where Rey is said to kick Kylo Ren's shin in, knocking him down as well, where the interior of the Death Star begins to crumble, where they both slide down, back to the middle of the First Order battlefield. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and why one part of this is starting to concern me. And this all has to do with Leia. Now, before the flash fight begins and before the simulation of the Death Star 1, and yes, the reason as to why I bring up it's a simulation is because the Death Star already was destroyed in A New Hope, so there's no way it still exists. So this now pretty much tells us that the flash fights are just mere simulations, if you will, of different worlds, planets, and eras of Star Wars movies that both Rey and Kylo Ren will be traveling to. I want to go over in the very beginning, though, where Rey is actually describing to Kylo Ren that Rey's mother, or should I say Kylo Ren's mother, General Leia Organa, needs him and that she is not doing well. So, Leia is not doing well. Does that mean that she's not doing, well health-wise? Does this mean that she's not doing well because Kylo Ren is fully embraced with the dark side and that she's never going to see him again? What's really going on here? The reason as to why I think it has something to do with Leia's well-being is because if you guys read the Poe Dameron comics, which by the way takes place after The Last Jedi, you will learn that there is something going on with Leia, and that she's handing the baton over to, of course, Poe Dameron as general. There's a lot of hints in there that she's doing that, and that she explains that she's very weak, and that she's very tired all the time, and a lot of this has all to do with the solar radiation that she got from, of course, in The Last Jedi, where she was launched back out into space from the explosion on the Radish ship. She got a lot of solar radiation and some kind of sickness. Now, this was all explained in The Last Jedi, I believe it was novelization, and it seems like they're trying to really tap into that here. As far as everything else goes, how they're actually going back to the first Death Star, where they're in the same exact environment that both Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fought in, where you do get to see the Death Star panels in the background. This, like I say, is a simulation of the first Death Star during their flash fight. Now, it's pretty safe to say that obviously they're not literally on board of the Death Star. However, that's not to say that the other flash fights are just simulations as well. They could very well actually be on the world of Tatooine or Mustafar, or the forest moon of Endor, or Naboo. I think that the environments like Cloud City and the Death Star 1 are going to be simulations where it's actually going to be close quarter, fights between both Rey and Kylo Ren. The one piece that really stood out to me the most here is where both Rey and Kylo Ren actually do have a chance to walk on the walls for a split second, taking 2 steps on the walls and bouncing off of it. Now, I'm not saying here that it's something around the lines of The Matrix, but we see this a lot in movies. We see this a lot in those martial arts films where they're able to actually walk on the walls for a split second. That's exactly what both Rey and Kylo Ren are going to be doing during their flash fight battle in Episode 9. And that, to me, is really raising the bar when it comes to fight sequences in a Star Wars film, and really upping the game here when it comes to prequel trilogy choreography. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.